stream a day for a week, and as we go into the parabolic aspect of the bull run, we're going to have more and more and more. We are now setting at 97% likelihood that there will be Fed rate cuts this month. And huge news from Trump reiterating the fact that tariffs will make it so that we do not have to actually pay income tax. With the income tax situation, what I thought was really interesting is that he always likes to talk about history. There was a time for American history, most of American history, when we did not have income tax at the federal level, at the state level. We didn't have capital gains tax. Capital gains wasn't really much of a thing. We just had assets, and that's what it was. It wasn't like, oh, look, we have assets we can tax. And things got done. Roads got built. The government got funded. The government was also a lot smaller, which you have to remember that if we're going to get rid of income taxes, we're going to have a much smaller government. Probably go back to what it was before, where you didn't have a Department of Education, all these other like unnecessary departments, and the employee count was also much lower. So if you look at the situation, the way Trump's been treating the government the past few months, right? He's only been president for like 10 months now, I believe, or so. Actually, 9 months, barely. You have to understand that he's cutting the size of the government for a reason. He's doing this because when you cut government size, that means you have less employees. This is something from the private sector as well. Look at the stock market. In the stock market, stocks go up. A lot of times this is going to sound really bad, but you can look it up. Any MBA teacher, any economics teacher will tell you this. A lot of companies, when they change CEOs or they change a lot of administrative top-level C-suite staff, one of the first things they do is cut down the size of the company. Once you cut the size of the company, that means that there's more money to distribute to the shareholders as well. The government works the same exact way. If you cut down the size of the government, that's less employees that need to be paid. So Trump is doing a good job of getting rid of the Department of Education. In my opinion, you may disagree or agree. For those that are watching live now, you can put your own opinions. Those watch later, you can put your own opinions. But Trump is doing what he can to make sure that we can use the tariffs, the money we're making in tariffs, rather, so that we can fund the government, a small version of the government, probably like, at least a quarter of the size, like a fifth of the size of what it is now. The next big piece of news is rate cuts. I've been calling for a double rate cut for the past few months, and I'm not saying this for September specifically. Hi, how you doing, guys? Everybody's coming in, and I'm not saying that because I'm just guessing. No, last September, people have a short memory. Last September 2024, we had a double rate cut after the Federal Reserve refused to cut rates for like almost the whole first half of the year. And it was very political in the sense that it was obviously done to help the incumbent party at the time during an election year. Double rate cut in September, a rate cut in October, and a rate cut in December. December really didn't really matter. That was after the election. But if we notice, there was a pump in the crypto markets. One, because of the double rate cut and then the rate cut, but also because President Trump was a pro-crypto president. However, this was very short-lived because we went too high too fast, in my opinion. We created a bubble because people were expecting President Trump on day one to make the U.S. the crypto capital of the world. That didn't happen. By the way, great views as always. I'm on the Jersey coastline right now. On my way to Jersey Shore for the next few weeks. So I'll be making videos from Jersey Shore. That'll be fun. But anyway, so this time around, we have all the infrastructure that's needed to make this shit, boom, go crazy crypto. Cryptos are finally, people say this on my Twitter, are finally finding their product market fit, right? We didn't know all these cryptos were, we know what they intended to do or they wanted to do, but they were like Cardano, where they're basically just selling you a dream. But now we're starting to see, again, Solana. We're starting to see stablecoins, Ethereum, stablecoins, Chainlink. The government's using it to put GDP information on the blockchain for public visibility and for it's permanent, and you can't change it. Howdy. I'm saying hi to everybody as you guys come in. So it's a little bit windy too, by the way. So now that we're starting to see product market fit in the infrastructure, right? The Genius Act passed in July, and the Clarity Act. We got news in the Clarity Act. Senator Cynthia Lummis had said that she hoped to get it passed and signed by President Trump by October, Halloween. Then she said Thanksgiving, then she said Christmas. Today, this is the second day of them coming back from summer recess, August recess. They're saying that They hope to get it passed and sent to President Trump's desk by the end of this month, in the next few weeks. If that happens, if you have a situation where you have, and again, this is hump day, just hump day thoughts. If you have a situation where you have two things, rate cuts and the infrastructure, Genius Act signed, that's going to make crypto boom alone, right? That's just one aspect of it. But keep in mind, if President Trump does do this, this is just me speculating here. I think that if he's going to get rid of federal income taxes, he has to do it through Congress. It is not going to be this year. It'll be next year. What is next year? Next year is a midterm election year. He only has one term left, and he knows this. He understands this. If he wants to be effective, what he has to do is ensure that he can keep the Senate and the House of Representatives Republican. How can he do that? By making it so the economy booms. It's the economy, stupid. I'm not calling you guys stupid, just Bill Clinton from the 90s for Gen Zers. It's the economy, stupid. What that means is that if there's a good economy, crypto's booming, assets are booming, people are making more money than ever. Petroleum, gas is inexpensive. Food is dropping, inflation is dropping. Next year versus this year, he can keep both houses of Congress very easily. And he would be the first president to do so since Bush. George Bush, the reason, just a little bit of history, the reason why he, Jr. was the only one to keep both houses in the midterm election was because of 9/11. That's almost coming soon. It is what it is. It's time for America. But it's a interesting part of history, if I know in history in the United States, that generally speaking, most presidents, if you're from one party and you're at the Congress, House of Representatives, and the Senate of the sorry, I was gonna call out to cut that out live. Then usually if it's President Trump, you're a Republican, and you have a midterm election, then usually the Democrats take over that, at least the House or the Senate, if not both. This is a counterbalance, right? When the country goes too far left, people want to go back to a little bit more to the right, to the center. Country goes too far right, they want to go back to the left, but more to the center. So, that being said, he is trying to do his best to try to make that happen, where he becomes the first president in over 23 years now to actually keep both houses of Congress. And specifically for crypto, that is one of the most bullish things I've ever heard in my life, because I think, again, just Wednesday thinking here, he cannot pass the Bitcoin Act this year. He will have a very hard time passing the Bitcoin Act next year, because again, he's going to be focusing on ending these wars, which are taking longer than usual, right? We thought Russia and Ukraine would have a ceasefire by now and they would end the war, but it is what it is. Also the Israel situation, ending the wars, and you have to focus on making sure the economy is as strong as possible. So when people go to the ballot box and they vote the primaries, in general, they were like, okay, we remember how bad it was under Biden. Now we have to keep it Republican under Trump. Also, look at the economy for the next few more years where you can pass more policies. What does this mean? It means that his successor, J.D. Vance, right now, prospective successor, can also win. J.D. Vance is probably going to be Trump 3 and 4 if he wins the re-election, right? Just a continuation of Trump's policies, pro-crypto legislation. Again, this is a crypto channel and finance channel, mostly crypto, because I believe crypto is the future. Like, real estate was cool 15, 20 years ago, 30, 40 years ago. Stock markets are always hot because people always dream about like working on Wall Street. But crypto is an industry that, again, right now it's barely $4 trillion, floating around between right under 4 trillion, right over 4 trillion. And this shit can go to 20 trillion, 100 trillion by 2030. And if you're in these markets, you're gonna make a lot of fucking wealth. Like Raul Paul says on Fuck Your Future. And it's Wednesday. I've had a long week thus far. I hope that you guys are doing better. Remember, I work every day, by the way. Sundays are a little bit different because Sundays I tend to be a little relaxed a bit more than the other days. But I'm going live every day. I'm doing social media every day. I'm doing crypto research 24/7. I'm working in campaigning, mostly to get people elected. I can be honest with you guys. I'm working on getting pro-crypto candidates in New York City, my old race, and the state race in New Jersey elected to state level positions, because I can't say names, because at the state level is where you're gonna get a lot of things done, right? The federal level, they set the parameters for the whole country, but the state level is where they set the things day to day. Also, Nelson Akival, que lo que, mano? So I'm Dominican American, by the way. I'm from Iran, Rasa Rasa. I can't speak in Farsi. I appreciate you being here. Mikhail, Ate. Oh, we're worldwide. We have the US here. We have people from all over the world, and I really appreciate it. So with that being said, it was just some hump day thoughts I'll be back for Thirsty Thursdays tomorrow. See ya.